Hi, Kelsey. My name is Alyssa,
Hello.
and hi, and I'm here with the Nocturnal. It's so nice to meet you and talk to you about your partnership with Hillshire Farms. I'm really excited. I'm a big fan of the brand and all their products, so this is really cool. And I think,
Agreed.
yeah, and I think this is such a fun partnership, and a great way to encourage people to get creative with their recipes this holiday season. So, my first question for you
Yes, for sure.
is how do you think your time on Top Chef prepared you to be so creative with your cooking and find new ways to incorporate favorites like Little Smokies in a way that's new and innovative?
Well, that's funny you asked that because I thought to myself, I'm really surprised we haven't had like a little smoky brand challenge yet on Top Chef. No, I think that the thing about Top Chef is you're given things that, um, that you have to be very creative with. And that's like the best thing about the show is that it forces you to like think outside the box. We've all had the cocktail weenies like this, in certain ways with a sauce. I think, especially for me, with every tailgate I was at in the South, it was always like a crock pot with like barbecue sauce on it and things like that. So I think the fun thing about Top Chef that's definitely trained in competing in general, that's trained me for things like this, is that it forces me to constantly think outside the box and just try to think of other ways to do things and not the obvious.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you mentioned going to different events in the South because I wanted to know how you think your Southern roots have inspired your recipes to incorporate the Little Smokies.
The coolest thing about the South has roots all over. So we have people from all over the world that made the South the South. And I think the more I've studied Southern cuisine and Southern food, the more intriguing and enticing it is because you have African roots, you have roots from all over the place that are just so amazing. And so for me, just because it wasn't necessarily something that I grew up as like Southern food, I have definitely adapted the history of the South and all of that with my recipe. So I try to dig deep with all types of flavors from all different backgrounds and cultures. And honestly, at this point, it's like impossible for me to not have that inspiring me moving forward because it's what I'm always thinking about. It's a huge passion of mine to represent where I'm from and the people who made it what it is.
Absolutely. And I feel like a lot of times people will think of Little Smokies for some barbecues or maybe like as a side. What ways do you think we can pair them with, like our holiday turkeys or ham, roast beef, anything we're doing? How do you think they can go well, especially with all the different flavors they have?
Well, and that's the thing about Hillshire Farm Brand and the Little Smokies is that there is a lot of flavor and different options depending on which one you choose, right? But at the end of the day, the flavor profiles and the components that I taste when I, just taste them all on their own without anything added and before I even do recipe is there's a lot of spice in them and there's a lot of smoke. And those two things are it's hard to find things that's not good in, to be honest. Most things can always have a welcome addition of smoke, and spice and flavor is always something that is needed. And lastly, there is a great level of fat in all of their products, which is something that every single recipe needs a balance of that. So I would urge anyone moving forward with the holidays, like if something calls for sausage, if something calls for bacon, or if it doesn't call for it and you think it could be added, that is where you can like let your creativity and let your mind wander of like, okay, yes, I can put this in there. It's going to be delicious. It's probably going to be more delicious now. And, I'd say for anyone, break the rules with cooking always. Just stop and think about what's in the product, which is what I said, and use it. Have fun with it. Don't be too stressed out and try to have fun with your holiday cooking and not be stressed about family recipes and things you have to do. You can always put your own spin on it.
Yeah, when I was growing up, my dad always said the recipe was just a guide. So I definitely agree with what you're saying.
I
Um,
love that.
yeah. And I wanted to know we have about the contest that's going on, which
Yes.
is also really cool. What excites you most about this contest and allowing fans of cooking to get creative with you and also be a part of the partnership?
Well, for those of y'all that don't know, this is Hillshire Farm brand 40th anniversary. So this whole giveaway is to, celebrate that, commemorate that. That's a big deal. I own a business and a company, and Lord, 8 years feels like 800 years. So 40 is a huge milestone. And they're definitely wanting to celebrate it. And I think in the best way, which is giving it away. So this challenge is all about what we've been talking about. It's clearly what I've done with the product and what we've talked about doing with the product, but it's to see what everybody else can do with it. I think that the goal with Hillshire Farm brand is to see different people doing different things and give them a chance to win $1,000 prize, which everybody wants that, right? So the giveaway is all just, you send in your recipe. Versatility is key. Using the product is obviously key. But from there, it's just really just challenging home cooks to have fun with this, to unleash their creativity for a chance to win $1,000. So it's pretty simple. You got to make it good.
Yeah, definitely. There's also going to be a pop-up restaurant, which is super cool. And I think an awesome way for fans to get excited about this. What do you hope people will take away from that experience in terms of upgrading their holiday cooking and also getting to try some different things? I heard there's going to be a few different things to try at that event.
Yes, there will be different, obviously, lots of Hillshire Farm brand products, but it's going to be what we're asking them to do. So as chefs and as the brand as well, we're going to be coming up with different things to hopefully spark people to think about for their holidays. Some of my recipes, some of other people's recipes. But the goal really is just for people to think outside the box and like I said, we all have our favorite ways. I think a lot of us grew up with the crock pot and it was just keeping the product whole, typically in a sauce. But there's so much more you can do with this product. And that's what this pop-up is all about, is to just encourage people to get creative, to think, and to hopefully incorporate it into their new traditions.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be so fun. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's in New York City too. I mean, of course it's going to be fun.
Yes. And I had one fun question for you. We were just talking about the different flavors and all, like the smoke and the spice. I wanted to know what your favorite flavor of Little Smokies is and how you've been doing that the most in your cooking.
Oh my gosh. I think, honestly, I can't answer it because I think that each product has a different application and a different place it needs to be. So it really just depends on what I'm doing. But I would say overall, every single one of the product has a very similar flavor profile. And that's, to me, what's really, really beautiful about the brand is sometimes you have products where they're so very versatile, and these are. But I think that what I love about this is you really can get creative too. If you're at home and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have the right one. Like I only have this flavor and I don't know what to do. You can still use it and it's going to be great and it's going to be delicious. And I think that's more important to remember more than anything moving forward, is like, they're all amazing and delicious, and don't get too worried about, like you said, like your dad said, don't be too worried about what it says. Just think of it as a guide, and then you use your creativity. You decide which one you want to use,
Yeah. Oh, you're making me hungry. It's my lunchtime.
I know, right?
Yeah. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for talking to me today. And I'm so excited to see who wins the contest.
I know. We shall see. I'm excited to see what they make, honestly. It's always so fun to see what people come up with.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Kelsey.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.